Hello everyone, welcome to the informational video for Pinnacle Cycles number 2 and 3. My name is JOCELYN, and again, I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Also, thank you all so much for all your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. It is greatly appreciated. Okay, I decided to combine Pinnacle Cycle number 2 and Pinnacle Cycle number 3 because based on the numerological energy, they're basically the same, okay? The only way they'll be different is if, of course, you have a different number between 2 and 3. So let me start off by giving you the information for Pinnacle Cycle 2. So in a Cycle 2, this term lasts a total of 9 years, and it's added by the day and the year you were born. So only the day and the year. So for example, if you were born March 3rd, 1990, you will only add up the 3rd plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 0. And that's how you would get the calculation of your Pinnacle Cycle 2. So this particular Pinnacle Cycle is like your productive year. So think of summer energy. Summer is all about on the go, all about having fun, never in the house. You're just enjoying life. So this particular cycle is all about that. It's all about actions, movement, and productivity, okay? Now, Pinnacle Cycle number 3 also lasts a total of 9 years. And this is added by your Cycle 1 number plus your Cycle 2. So for example, in Pinnacle Cycle number 1, if you have a number 1 in your chart, and then Pinnacle Cycle number 2, you have a 3 in your chart, you will add Cycle 1, which is 1, plus Cycle 2's, which is 3. So 1 plus 3 is 4. So in a Pinnacle Cycle 3, you would vibrate with the number 4. Okay, replay this if you need to. Also, this is just like Pinnacle Cycle number 2. These are a productive period of years in your life where you're moving through a lot of things. You're very abundant within this particular period if everything goes well in your life. And you're also really settling down, like you're getting into the motions. So the only difference between 2 and 3 is like 2, you're just starting off. 3, you should be an expert in whatever area of your life. So like I said, it is similar depending on which numbers that you have. But this is like the season of autumn. It's all about gathering, saving, getting prepared for the rest of your life, because now is like the time is about to start slowing down. So this is also a period where you get into a rhythm. You're getting really comfortable with who you are. This is more so the energy where you're supposed to really be flowing. Like you see the things that have grown in your life, but you also see the changes that needed to be had, and you're changing those different things. And then you're about to get ready for Pinnacle Cycle number 4. So with that being said, let's move on to the numbers. If you are in your Pinnacle Cycle 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 1, this is a period where you're being prepared to embrace your leadership skills in all areas of your life. So in everything that you learned in the first Pinnacle, now it's time for you to take the lead in your own life. So this is also a period of self-improvement and growth as well. So you look at the formative years of your life, you look at those, like that springtime energy, that Pinnacle Cycle number 1 energy, and that is going to help you self-improve, okay? You're all about self-improvement, or how can I grow from what I just went through in my first Pinnacle Cycle. So in this Pinnacle Cycle, you need to make sure that you use all of your talents in order to grow and to be that leader. So you may have seen, like in this particular periods of your life, 2 and 3, that you are getting a lot of promotions, that people are singling you out, people are giving you a good job. You are the spokesperson, okay? Because you exude some type of life because of everything that you were challenged with in the first Pinnacle. Now you are being called, you're being requested just in your personal life to take a leadership role. In this particular pinnacle, in these particular pinnacles as well, be careful of being self-centered and self-serving. It's almost like you're only doing things for the love of self. So you got to be very careful of that, because that's that ego energy that you will need to break down. Okay. Think of others. Just think of other people other than yourself, because if you're thinking of the well-being of someone else, it's naturally going to be good for you. You're naturally going to be okay if you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. And then also be open to receive advice from other people too. In these particular Pentacles, because you are a 1, you do have the energy of knowing a lot. But you have to understand that you don't know everything. There are other people in this particular lifetime that can help you develop you, if you are open up to it. So you just got to be very mindful of that. This can also be a very successful period in your life, very successful time, if you take the time to exert yourself and take the lead of your own life. So if you take that time to actually go after what it is you want, you can really achieve a lot in these particular years. So just make sure that you're taking the lead. Make sure that you're not being like a shy guy. Make sure that you are being totally confident within yourself, because you are able to get whatever it is you want. So take initiative. Take initiative of your own actions and start your life the way you see best fit. So however you want to see your life, whatever you want to see your life, whether you feel like you can't overcome certain things, whether you feel like you can, you're right. So if you see your life going good for you, take that initiative to go to move in the right direction, to have a good action plan for your life. But if you feel like you don't really see yourself going anywhere, then those actions are going to reflect that. So you might feel like you're staying stagnant. But the universe, what God is going to try to do is to throw more things at you so that you can get up and so that you can take those actions. So don't be afraid to forget the past and start over again when these things happen, because you don't want to stay stuck and you don't want to stay stagnant. If you have a lot of 1 energy in your chart, be very cautious of your ego, because that could block you from your true potential. So if you are like a life path number 1 and you have a 2 or a 3 Pinnacle cycle of 1, or if your destiny number is number 1, if you have a lot of 1s in your chart, you have to be very cautious of that ego, because it can block you from blossoming or being who you are truly meant to be. Also take the lead or leap towards your goals, and then also be more flexible, because once you are flexible, once you're not so stubborn as far as like what has happened in your life, you can understand the lessons, and then that you can also achieve a lot of things within your life. Also use all of your gifts and all of your talents in order to succeed in any area you feel fit for you. Okay, so you have a lot of talents that you can really exude. You have a lot of things and a lot of creativity and a lot of crafts that you can actually give towards, that you can actually find within yourself, that you can give that towards the world, that you can leave that legacy, that you can lead your descendants down a straight and narrow path, or just a straight path, not really straight and narrow, but just a straight path where you can leave something for other people to look up to. So this is a very thriving period, but you have to be sure to let go of everything that has happened in that first pinnacle, so that you can say, you know what, I take the responsibility of my own life and I determine where I want to be. I want to be successful. I'm going to be successful, and you'll take the actions to move towards it. In a pinnacle cycle number 2 or 3, and you vibrate with the number 2, this is a period where you are developing duality and balance in all levels of your life. You create an atmosphere of harmony, compromise, and balance. So based on where you are in your life and what you have been through in the first pinnacle, this is a time where you are just breathing, relaxing, and you're trying to create that balance. You're trying to create that peace in all areas of your life when it comes to spiritual, physical, work life, family life, business life, finances, whatever it is, you name it, you're just trying to create some type of compromise and some type of balance. It's almost like you're taking the good with the bad. You're taking the bad with the good. You are really learning that that what goes up, what goes down energy, okay? This is also a phase where typically a lot of partnerships come together depending on your life path number. Ones may feel alone, while sixes may find their mates. So if you are life path number 1 and you vibrate with a 2, you may feel by yourself. Even if you are with a partnership, you may feel like you're alone. Or if you are a 6, like I said, if you're life path number 6 and you vibrate with these numbers, you may find your soulmate. You may find the person that helped me. You get what I'm saying? So if you are a life path number 1, for example, you may find love later on in this period, or once you find that duality within your own life, once you find that balance within your own life, then that's when your person comes in. Also, this is a time that is not based on you, but the overall joy of other people in your environment. You are associated with bringing in that harmony. So your energy in this particular life, because this particular cycle, you have been through a lot in that first pinnacle. You have learned a lot in that first pinnacle. This is the particular cycle where you are feeling harmonized within yourself, but then you're also teaching others or helping others find that harmony within themselves as well. And you're also creating a sense of peace and a sense of like serene energy where people feel so comfortable around you, telling you different things, and you create harmony in those people's lives that you interact with. This is also a very detailed and demanding work period, because you are highly relied on. And that mother energy is kind of like people look for you on what to do. So even though that, for example, you may be like a secretary to a CEO, and instead of that CEO knowing what to do, they may go to the secretary and say, okay, what can I do with this? You are that person that people rely on at work. You are very good in the work that you do as well, which makes people come to you and ask you a lot of questions. Or you may be in your work environment for a long period of time and you may be very knowledgeable in that work. So people come to you, even though if you're not the boss in that particular work endeavor in your life or in that particular area, people still come at you for advice. You must learn how to overcome too much of your sensitivity as well. So what I mean by that is, if you are showing people how you feel and you are crying and screaming and you're not able to balance your emotions, people can feel like that you're just barking at them instead of just communicating with them. So be sure to communicate how you feel on a deeper level so people can understand and they can learn more about you each and every day. Don't be tempted as well. Don't be tempted to dwell in your feelings. Learn how to process the feelings and to work with them to help yourself and others. This, in the third pinnacle, you may struggle with self-confidence issues. You may feel like you're falling off, or you may feel like you weren't that person that you were, years ago, and you may feel you're struggling with self-confidence issues. So especially during the beginning, when it was the highest point in your life. So let's say like you were a man, you were a woman in high school, like you were very popular, you were very attractive, you had a lot of friends. When you moved to that third pinnacle, especially if you felt like that in the first pinnacle, when you move to the third pinnacle and you are number 2, you may feel like you don't really have it no more. So you may tend to have like a midlife crisis around this time because you want to continue to show yourself that you still got it. So just be mindful of that you're still the same person, your body's just changed. Self-confidence isn't about how you look on the outside, it's who you are on the inside. Even though that this body changes all the time. Our bodies change all the time. It is a part of this earth. So just like in nature, just like the trees and the flowers, everything changes. The seasons, everything changes. So is our body. You still remain that confident person on the inside. And that's what these pinnacles are trying to teach you, is that you remain the same. You remain solid. You remain confident. You remain beautiful. Just because you don't look a certain way don't mean that you're not that same beautiful person on the inside. So these pinnacles are going to show you that. You will need to also, because people are reliant on you, you will need to also rely on the support of others and seek others people for encouragement. So during these pinnacles, either you can be that person that also gives encouraging messages, or you will tend to see that you tend to look at a lot of encouraging things. You don't really want to look at, different dramas or different reality TV shows. You may want to look at something that's more motivational. And this is what's going to help you out with your self-confidence as well, because when you find that person that can kind of talk to your spirit and that can kind of awaken that in you, and you can rely on them truly, then that is how you will regain your self-confidence as well. Also, you may love beautiful and harmonious environments, but know that you are that as well. You are the person that gives off whatever environment you want to have. So if you feel beautiful, if you feel confident, if you feel harmonious within you, it is going to naturally create that environment outside of you. So be mindful of that. You create the environment. You are the type of person that if you're happy at a party, everybody's happy at the party. If you're mad at Thanksgiving dinner, everybody's mad at Thanksgiving dinner. Your emotions rub off on people. So because you do love beautiful, harmonious environments, you have to be sure to create those environments within yourself. And that way you can have it on the outside. If you are in a Pinnacle Cycle 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 3 in these particular cycles, in this particular period of your life, you will have great opportunities to create the life you seek and succeed in it. So this is a time in your life where it was like the first pinnacle, you felt like that you wasn't really thriving, that things didn't really go your way. Things could have went your way, but it didn't. So now in this 2 and 3 pinnacle, you're trying to succeed at all costs. You don't want to waste any more time and waste any more talents that you have just to be that in the shadows, okay? You want to outshine it all, but you want to also be successful within it. Not that I want to shine and I want to be happy and I want to be joyous like that 3 childlike energy gives, but you want to succeed in it too. And this is a period where you can do that as well. If you use your gifts and use your talents to the best of your ability, you can definitely succeed in this particular period. Also, this is a period of being more open and more social. So in your first pinnacle, you may have been like really shy. You may have not been really outgoing. You may have been really inclusive and you just kept to yourself. But this is the pinnacle where you understand that you do need to open up a little bit more. You do need to communicate on how you feel. This is also a very upbeat, and you may feel emotions at all times too. So even though that you may feel like really joyous, really upbeat, you may also tend to feel other people's emotions in your environment as well. So therefore, you always want to feel upbeat. So you create an upbeat environment. You want to create laughs. You want to create good times because you feel that other people needs that as well as you. Also, be sure to be in tune with your own emotions. Instead of trying to be the joy for others, don't neglect yourself in that process. So like I was just saying, it's like you feel upbeat, you feel happy, but then you feel other people's sadness. Instead of you going out enjoying your own happiness, you tend to be there for somebody else, which is a good thing. But you have to give some of that time to yourself too. You have to learn how to enjoy this time, because in your first pinnacle, it was really wobbly. Like it was like ups and downs, like it was more downs than ups. And now that you're in a place where you have the freedom to create and the freedom to be happy and joyous, you want everybody else to feel it. But at the same time, you neglect yourself by wanting to have other people feel that same joy as you. This is also a very lucky period in your life too, where you can easily overcome obstacles more than before. And this is because of everything that you went through in the first pinnacle. It's like I've seen it all in my first pinnacle. So in this pinnacle, I already know that I can overcome everything if you have that mindset. So this is a very lucky period. You will feel that you will get a lot of lucky breaks in this period. You will also see that you will become more successful in your endeavors as well. This is also a period of accomplishment and one of the most favorable numbers in the Pinnacle Cycles period. Between 1, 2, 3, and 4 Pinnacle and all the numbers combined, this Pinnacle of 2 and 3, and if you vibrate with the 3, is the most favorable. This is the most lighthearted energy. This is the most time where you can really just go out and let your hair down and enjoy yourself, and you be successful in it. So let's say, for example, you say that you want to go out of town. You go, to an island resort somewhere, and you're just dancing, having fun. Then all of a sudden they do like a raffle drawing at the place that you're at. You win it. Or even if you're on a cruise, you may be singing, dancing on the cruise ship, and they may call you up on stage, and then you showcase your talents there. Like, this is a very lucky, very favorable period. And things will come very easy for you. Because like I said, that first pinnacle is like you went through so much that this second and third pinnacle, you're not going to really go through much. It's going to be the height of your life. You are going to be feeling very joyous, very harmonious, very lucky. So just be open. Honestly, you just got to be open to different social environments, because if you stay in the house, you won't be this lucky. You'll just be sitting down on the couch waiting for something to happen. So that's why you have to take that action and go outside and play. Like I said, 3 is a childlike energy. 3 is the number of child. So it's the number of joy. You know how children go out and play on playgrounds and they just have fun and they just swing on the swing like they can't get hurt, nothing at all. This is the period of your life where you are to do that responsibly so that you can have fun. This is a very uplifting time in your life. So in the third cycle as well, it's a little different in the third cycle too. This is just time to not be more impulsive either. So even though that you are having fun, succeeding, you're just living life, you're just feeling joyous, first pinnacle is over, hard times are over, this is good times, I'm getting all these blessings and abundance, you have to make sure that you are not impulsive on your behaviors. You have to make sure that you have some type of discipline, because if you just go out and just do whatever and just have fun and just be free and make impulsive decisions, it could really limit your enjoyment, or it can limit on like how well you enjoy this particular period. So that's just with the third pinnacle. The second pinnacle, you kind of have like, it's kind of free game, but just like I said, responsible and not impulsive. Okay, so keyword, be responsible, not impulsive. If you are in a Pinnacle Cycle 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 4, this is a process where you need to take everything step by step in your life, especially when it comes to your success. You need to be very patient on how your successes come in. Success is within reach, but you have to work hard. It will pay off. Your hard work, your actions that you have towards anything that you want in life will pay off, okay? It just will. It's naturally going to happen. But you have to make sure that you stay dedicated to what it is you want to do. This is also based on your steps too. Make sure that when it comes to your success, and because this is like the working period of your life, this is the period where you are really accumulating wealth. So when it comes to the steps that you take towards the wealth process, you have to be sure of that. Be very detailed, be very particular, kind of stick to the plan. Don't go rogue on this. Like if you have a plan and you need to take some type of steps, be very detailed in the steps that you take. in order for your life to be balanced and work for your benefit. You may not be a person who is very comfortable with organized work, and this is what makes this pinnacle a difficult time, because you may be the person that likes freedom, or you may be the person that doesn't really like a strict schedule. You may be the person that always wants to, take life by reins. You don't really want to be restricted. I'm gonna say that. You just don't really want to be restricted. And with this organized period of your time, it can be very difficult if you are a person like that. That's what makes this period difficult for someone who is like free, like that likes freedom, that enjoys no restrictions, no restraints. This can be a very hard time for you, because this is the time where you learn how to be disciplined, learn how to be organized. You must also learn a lot of discipline. Like I said, if you're that person that wants to go or wants to get up when you want to get up, or want to do whatever you want to do, you're going to have to kind of, like I said, have like an organized plan or organized schedule, because if you don't, it can be wobbly for you. It can be very difficult. So like start like having like a schedule that gets you up at a certain time, and you get up at that same time, you do the same thing, like have some type of structure. Okay, you can have fun, but have structure when it comes to the important things. When it comes to get work done, you have to have some type of structure. Also, don't take any gambling risk at all in this particular period. Make sure you save your money in practical ways, because in this particular this particular 4 vibration in these particular pinnacles, like I said, everything has to be structured. Everything has to be practical. You have to actually see it to believe it type energy, okay? And with gambling, you can always feel like you're this lucky person, which you are, but you don't want to splurge. You don't want to just do it just, it's kind of like one of those game shows. You know those game shows that take like a lot of risk? Like, what is that show? Deal or No Deal, or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Y'all seen those shows before where they're like, no, I'm going again. Oh, I'm going again. When you already have like $500,000 right there. Like you can just take it, instead of just being impulsive and then having the risk of losing it all. You got to be really careful when it comes to gambling. This is a like I said, this is a work focused period. So this is like time, whatever you get in your life, this is like time for you to like be like slow and steady. Okay, be really focused. Like slow and steady wins the race. You have to have a lot of patience in this period, because you may feel like things don't really come as easy to you as it did in the first pinnacle. If you did have an easy period in the first pinnacle, this period is not going to come to you as easy. You're going to actually have to work hard to get what it is you want to get. But like I said, slow and steady wins the race. Have patience and don't give up hope, even if things don't go at your speed. Like you kind of, like the world anyway goes like at a quick pace, at a quick speed. So even if things don't go so speedy for you, don't give up on what you want to accomplish. Don't give up on your dreams. Just know that it's just going to take a while, because what you have going on, what you want to create, what you want to succeed in, it's not as easy as ABC 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you're going to have to be a little particular. You're going to have to be more detailed in getting those things running. Also, in this particular period, if you are married, you may have issues with your in-laws, a lot of issues with your in-laws during this time. Okay, so even if you and the in-laws have gotten along before these particular periods, now you may feel like there's like a lot of issues with your in-laws, or you may blame your in-laws of how your partner or spouse operates. You get what I'm saying? So it may seem like a lot of difficulty around this time with the in-laws. Also, you have the go-ahead to build a solid foundation that will last. This may be a frustrating time because your life is full of responsibilities, and many people in your work and in your home life depend on you to be the rock, to be the go-to. Like, if I can't depend on this rock. I can't depend on anybody. And sometimes that can be really frustrating because you are the type of person that there's another way out. There's another person that it can be there to actually help you. I don't have to be that person. And it may have something to do with your in-laws as well. Like your in-laws may move in, and because they don't have anywhere else to go, they may come to you for a lot of things, and you just feel like it's just a burden. So that's why this particular period can be very frustrating as well. But make sure you take time to manage your mental and emotional, physical and spiritual wellness. You know, even if you do have a lot of responsibilities around this time, if you take yourself back and tend to your own needs, it's not going to feel as overwhelming. Sometimes you need to lighten your load by going to the beach, by going to the spa, by putting your phone on do not disturb. Like, you're going to have to kind of like take time. That has to be scheduled within your time as well. That has to be put into your schedule as well, to take time to yourself. Also, do not compromise your health and wellness at this time. So you may need to start eating a little bit healthier, may need to start working out, may need to start sleeping a little bit more. That's why that schedule for you is so important, because you need time to rest. You need to put in time to rest, because if you don't, your health can be compromised. Like, you can get a lot of backaches, a lot of headaches. You can feel like you're being like sick a lot. You may have colds and flus and things like that, something, like that. Or you may feel like your bones are, out of place, So like I said, make sure that you're just really taking time for yourself to balance your health and wellness, because with all the responsibility that's on you, it's going to feel like a lot of bricks are piled on your back. If you are in a Pinnacle Cycle 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 5, this is a period of your life of expansion and living free. If you feel like changing something, and this pinnacle will be a perfect vibration for you to do so. If you despise change, this could be a period where it feels like a lot of challenges. So if you like change, if you embrace it, go ahead and change it. Go ahead and do whatever it is you feel. But if you have a issue with change, if you don't really like to change a lot, this can be a period where it's like, oh my God, like, why is everything changing? It's because it's meant to change. Like, everything changed, just like the seasons, just like your body, just like environments, it all changes, okay? It's ever going, and we're living in change right now. So don't be afraid of change. Also, I actually heard an intuitive message for you, and it says, I can take care of myself. Like, you tend to say that a lot, like, I can take care of it myself. In the first pinnacle, you may have dealt with situations where you felt like you had to take care of everything yourself. So in this particular period, the intuitive message that I got was, don't be afraid to ask or seek for help if you deal with abuse in any form in this period of your life, especially in the second pinnacle. Okay, so if you're in the second pinnacle and you vibrate with the number 5, if you are dealing with any type of abuse, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, just you abusing, different like drugs or things like that, don't be afraid to seek help, because this is the pinnacle where you tend to be affected by like traumas a lot. You sit back and you think about different traumas and thinking about different like abuse, and you honestly abuse different substances as well. So be careful of that. If you need to seek help for that, go ahead, reach out, seek help to anybody for that, okay? Or, the appropriate people for that. Also, you grow and blossom because you're free of nature. So learn to go with the flow. So the way that you can embrace this particular these particular pinnacles and this particular, vibration of a 5, you can't be afraid to grow and blossom. You can't be afraid to flow with the natural changes that the earth, your body, your environment gives you. Okay, so be sure to free. 5 is also ruled by Mercury energy. So your nature at this time may be flighty. So you may want to always travel a lot. You may also don't feel really balanced either. So balance is a big test for you in this particular period. Be sure not to overindulge. And that's what I was just saying with like abuse, because if you overindulge in anything, it can tend to be a burden for you. It can tend to be an addiction for you that you are going to have to really spend all of these years to break those different cycles. Now, by the third pinnacle, you will know the true meaning of life, which is unconditional love. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there, because as this life goes on, you will have to really get that concept of unconditional love. So by the third pinnacle, you will honestly realize it. Learning to also, you're going to be learning to be detached and be your freedom use your freedom to the best of your ability. So you'll have freedom to really do whatever you want to do, to move, to go, to, just do whatever it is you please, but make sure that you're doing that in a more responsible way, because if you don't, it can have a toll on your life once you get to the fourth pinnacle. This can also be a very successful period for advancements or adventures and travels. So you are constantly going to always get different promotions within this period when it comes to your work life, because you have a way of talking things through. You may be a good salesman. You may know how to really just explain things that people really don't know how to explain. You know how to research, and then whatever you research, you know how to talk it. You know how to communicate it, okay? So this can be a highly successful period with that, and with you getting these advancements and these with these promotions and things like that, it can lead you to a life where you can accumulate a lot more money this particular period, and then you can use that money to travel. Also, a lot of moving too. You may try to move from state to state. You may try to move state to state, or you may try to move out the country as well, or you may just want to travel abroad. If you are in school, you may not want to do school in your particular country of origin, or the country you live in. You may want to go somewhere else, outside the country, outside the continent, and study. So those can be very good things for you in this particular pinnacle as well. So there could be a lot of tremendous successful blessings in this particular period, but you have to understand that you have to learn boundaries. You have to learn how to have fun responsibly, and then also don't allow anybody else to tie you down and to bound you into feeling like you belong somewhere where you don't belong. If you are in a pinnacle cycle of 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 6, this pinnacle is devoted to community and family. Home life takes over priority over your work life because you see where all is connected. So for example, if you know that your home life is good, when you go to work, your work life is going to be good. If your personal life is okay, your work life is going to be okay. So if one is not happy and the other one is not going to be naturally happy. So you see the connection between it all. So that's why you value your home life, because wherever you are laying your head at, wherever you are stable at, wherever you love the most, wherever your heart is, that's where everything flows. Okay, so you are also being more responsible of your priorities, and that your priorities are key as well. You want to make sure that everything is in order. You may want to make sure that everything is right. You may also, in the pinnacle cycle number 1, you may also not have been really close to your family, or you may have only been close to certain family members. So in this particular pinnacle, you want to expand your family. You want to reconnect with different relatives that you've never connected with. You want to understand why you haven't really connected with them. And then even if you do connect with them and meet with them and you see that, okay, now I see why I wasn't with them, you still want to say, hey, let's be Facebook friends, or hey, let's connect over dinner sometimes, one time a year. You still want to keep that connection because you believe in legacy. You believe in keeping families together. At this time as well, you do have a heightened sense of those around you, and you show genuine compassion for people. So you may be like that motherly type energy, or even if you are like that fatherly type energy, you're there to really be that help person for somebody else, be that father, be that mother for somebody else. Even if you're not a father or mother right now, you just want to be there for people to show that compassion to. Also, you may be adding on family members at this time. So even if you have like 4 kids, you may yearn to have more, even though that you know that you're not really supposed to have more. That's just for example. You just want to expand your family. And that's where it comes to connecting with different family members that you have not seen in a long period of time. You want to like build a legacy. You want the family reunions to always be packed with people. If you see new faces, you want to get to know the new faces. You want to get to know the kids because you believe in family. Like you find, like I said, you find priority in your family. Also, your sense of style may change drastically during this period. So if you are a type of person that always had long hair, you may do like a big chop. Or if you've always been that person that was like heavier set, you may try to lose weight. Or if you were always that person that was a lot skinnier, you may be trying to gain weight. You know, it depends. Or if you're a person, or like I say, if you're a female that likes to wear jeans, you may start wearing dresses a lot. If you are a masculine energy, or if you are a male that only like to wear like different, jeans and plain t-shirts and chains and stuff, you may now start wearing polos, or you may start wearing more suits. Like your sense of style completely is going to completely change. You also can attract different people who you can help achieve your goals, or you may attract a lot of people that can help you achieve your goals. So you're all about connection. Like that's what that community energy is like. You want to know your neighbors. You want to see what they do for a living, because they may have something that you need. You may have something that they need. So you want to connect with the people in the environment around you. And this can be a very beautiful energy. And this can be a time, because you are connecting and making these connections with your community, or making these connections with estranged family members. This can be a very pivotal period, a very great period, very light period. And this is a pinnacle that can bring in a lot of great successes and a lot of great rewards once you can balance your work life and your family life. If you are in a Pinnacle Cycle 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 7, this is a period where you may not gain a lot of benefits or financial material, but you will gain a lot of spiritual abundance, okay? So this is the period where it's almost like, you know that you need money, you would like to have a lot of it, but you don't find value in that. So you tend to be more focused on your spiritual abundance, okay? Even if you do want to be wealthy and want to be rich, this is a particular period of your life where all those material blessings is going to kind of stay a little even, stay a little stagnant. Like you're not going to struggle, but it's just going to stay balanced. It's just going to stay on like one wave. It's not going to be any ripples, any up and downs, but your spiritual abundance is going to go to an all-time high. Your intuition is also heightened during this time, and it can be very easy and simple on what you can do in life to change everything. So it's like your intuition is going to tell you, you need to do this, like, and you can hear it clearly. You can feel it clearly too. You just have to trust it. If you can hear it all day and you know what you can do all day, but if you don't trust it, things won't really move for you. So even when it comes to your financial benefits and your financial gains, if your intuition is telling you, hey, you should do this to make more money, do that to make more money. Don't allow that purpose or that thing that your intuition is telling you to do be bigger than you. Okay, you are the biggest, you are the greatest success of all. Don't allow that success to belittle you. Also, this is a period of research and philosophical endeavors. So you may travel a lot, you may read a lot, you may research a lot of different books, different texts that everybody really doesn't read. You may be really into that as well. This is the slowest moving pinnacle, or you may feel like it. You may feel like everything is just stopped. And like I was saying, like that ripple, like just envision like an ocean right now. So if you vision the ocean, you know, like the waves are constantly turning. It is like flat. It's no waves, it's no ripples. It's just at a dead still. So this is the slowest moving pinnacle of all the pinnacle numbers. So right now, when you're still, right now when you're not doing anything, kind of challenge your mind. Like you can always like challenge yourself mentally. You can always grow mentally and spiritually when nothing is moving. When life is not really fast paced, you can always use that energy that you have to read, to meditate, to research. And when you do that, that's how you gain your spiritual abundance, because everything is standing still. Also, study in all forms, environmental purposes, educational purposes, spiritual purposes. Just study it all. Okay, this can be a very pivotal time for you to do that. Like I said, especially when it's still. This can become highly knowledgeable. You can become highly knowledgeable in what area of expertise as well, because you are so focused on these subjects at this time. So whatever you pick up and read is like, you know, when they say like a child's mind is like a sponge, your mind right now is like a sponge, you know, even though that you don't have the child mind, like you are over the age of 35. So this is the period of time you're over the age of 27. So this is the period of time where you can really become very highly knowledgeable. All this knowledge that you will gain and that you will bring, especially in the Pinnacle Cycle of number 3, it will reap the rewards. Okay, so let's say like you're gaining all of this spiritual knowledge in a Pinnacle Cycle number 2. Once you get to the Pinnacle Cycle of number 3, here come the rewards. Here come the financial rewards. Here comes the physical manifestations of what you wanted to have in your life in general. And also in this particular period, you will have a deeper understanding in life. And because knowledge is obtained, you may look down on others, okay? Because you've had that time with spirit. You've had that time with the universe, with God, with nature. You've had that time where it's like nothing is happening. So you're gaining all this knowledge. So now that you go back into the regular world and you are, you know, expressing your knowledge, you may feel like other people don't really have a lot of knowledge. You may actually think, and you know, it's kind of harsh to say, but you may actually think you don't have hope in the human race, okay? Because you may feel like, are these people really out here thinking anymore? Like, they're not even creative, they're not thinking, they're not doing things, and you may look down on people. So be very careful of that, because you don't want to look down on people just because they're not knowledgeable, they're not aware of the things that you are aware of. You just had more time to sit back and observe. Everybody hasn't had that time. So just be mindful of you looking down on people and where they are in their particular life, okay? Even if they are your same age, or even if they are older than you, they haven't had the same experiences that you've had. So you looking down on them just because they haven't read a book or they don't really know different things is kind of judging, okay? So be mindful of that. You also, in this particular period, may be called to isolate yourself and to reevaluate a lot of things. So you may separate from people that you've known for years because you're trying to really find yourself. In the first pinnacle, you may have been a social butterfly. You may have always went out with different people of all walks of life. You may have created lifelong friendships, but in this period, it's like something within you is telling me to, you know what, let me step back, let me pull back from people, and let me just isolate myself to get to know who I am. But it's a difference between being alone and isolated. You need to have alone time, and you don't need to just completely isolate anybody, because if you do, then you lose those connections that you value. You actually still value these connections. You just need that alone time to repurpose yourself, okay? Also, this is a serious phase on like personal growth, spiritual growth, emotional growth. So that's why you're pulling yourself back, so that you can have that time to really get to know yourself, because you've been so involved with other people and other things. It's kind of like the universe is like, nope, let me sit you down real quick. Let me show you something. And you do need that a long time. So you will grow a lot, okay? Unions built are not always easy within this particular period either, but with the understanding of yourself will help you understand others. With you putting yourself in someone else's shoes will help you better. Let me rephrase that. With you understanding that people are different, and with you understanding, you having like showing empathy to other people, you are able to understand not only yourself, but you're able to understand how to relate to other people as well. If you are in a Pinnacle Cycle 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 8, this is a very goal-oriented, successful, driven period in your life, okay? You are always trying to climb the ladder, okay? You are trying to climb the ladder in a particular company that you're in, or you're trying to start your own business, but you are always thinking about what is the next move? Where is the next success gonna come in? You're taking very rational approaches, or you should take very rational approaches in order for you to succeed. So just don't try to say, oh, I'm going to make it famous being on this particular website, or like actually do the motions, actually do the type of actions that you're going to have to take in order for you to succeed, in order for you to find your personal power as well. You are not intimidated by challenges either, like you embrace them, so that all these challenges that arise, you face them head on and you don't fall. It's like, you know what, in my first pinnacle, I've been through so much. I don't got time for this. I can overcome anything that I'm being faced with, and you're taking them on head charge. It's like you're that Ram energy, that Aries energy, or that Bull energy. You're just taking on things head on, and you not care who's in the way of you, okay? And like I said, then this is that with you having that energy, this is gaining a lot of personal power within you, and that will be enhanced, and you will be succeed. You will be able to succeed in all the endeavors of your life. Also, in this particular pinnacle, don't doubt yourself, or your confidence will shift. Okay, so even though that you have this confidence of facing things head forward, sometimes your personal confidence can be affected. You may not feel adequate enough. So if you are having that energy where you're not feeling adequate, it can shift your whole perspective or your whole vision of how your success is going to go. Okay, so remain confident. The laws of this particular pinnacle is laws of cause and effect. Like what you reap is what you sow is what you reap. Okay. Also, the law of karma, what goes around comes around. So these are the two laws that you really need to focus on in this particular period, because you need to understand whatever actions I take, whatever I build, whatever I plan, that is going to be what's going to blossom. However I treat someone in this particular period, that is how in the long run other people are going to treat me. Especially in this particular third pinnacle, remain balanced on earth and in heaven, okay? Remember that, yes, we are in this matrix energy, this physical environment, but we're here. You get what I'm saying? We're here. So make sure that whatever you do here is whatever you're going to reap in heaven, okay? Really remain that. That's very important. Expect highs and lows too. Again, with that 8 energy that you have, it's all about like an ongoing cycle. So it's like something's going to go up, something's going to go down, something's going to go up, something's going to go down. You are going to always have this into your life. So just remain balanced, like take the good with the bad. Also, do not focus too much on money or material gains, because you may be tested in looking at it all to understand the value, the true value of the meaning of natural life. Okay, so you are going to be tested. When it comes, and tested is not to scare anybody, it's just to let you know that if you are only focused on earthly gains, on physical gains, the universe, God is going to test you and to let you see. The test is just to allow you to see that it's not all about this material gain. Okay, it's not all about this matrix. It's not all about what you accomplish here. It's about how you overcome and accomplish yourself in this matrix, in this physical environment. Don't place money or statues above all, because like I said, if you do, it's like that Scrooge McDuck energy. Like you're placing like all your value on things based on how successful you are. And it's like you're going to get a rude awakening on, no, that's not it. You know, just because you have so much money doesn't mean that you are all powerful. Also, a call to stand up for yourself and go after whatever you want. Be aggressive, but not a bully. Like there's difference. Like you can be aggressive and say, I'm going to get whatever I want, but you don't have to be a bully where you can take other people that other people have attained or gained. Also, don't give up even when a stage during this pinnacle can be tough, because like I said, because you are really in a period of your life where you're being tested and you are being challenged with understanding what it's like to actually be successful. You may be in a period of your life where it can be very tough. Also, be in charge of your life and don't put blame on others. Like don't say that it's somebody else's fault of why I didn't get this. Like you need to start taking responsibility of your own actions in this particular pinnacle. And again, if you don't see it that way, it's like the universe will test you into seeing it. So just be mindful of that. But this can be a very highly successful period if you balance it, if you understand what it's like to have, and then you understand what is it like to actually give as well. Because with you being highly successful in your finances, you can also give this material gain back to other people and then gain even more in the future. So if you are in a pinnacle cycle number 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 9, in this particular cycle, anything is possible. Your earnings and your business matters are highly successful in this period. Because you have went through a lot of hardships in the first pinnacle cycle, with the lessons that have been learned in that pinnacle, now in your second and your third pinnacle, you are going to start reaping a lot of rewards when it comes to your success, when it comes to how you look as well. Also, you may feel called to do some type of volunteer work when it's in the need of the whole entire world on a bigger scale. So it's not that you're trying to be in the need or in the help of humans or, you know, people. You're trying to help animals. You're trying to help the ocean. You're trying to help recycle, and you're trying to help plant life. Like I said, it's on a whole global scale that you want to be a help in this particular lifetime and in this particular world. Activities help out on a large portion of a public. So like any activity that will, not only can I help out the animals, but when I help out the animals, it can affect how humans act. Or when I help out humans, when I help out people, it can affect how much water we drink. You're trying to help out life form in general. It's just not in one particular area. You want this to be this way so that we can, like, for example, if you're trying to help out plants, you want to help grow more plants, grow more trees to create fresher, clean air for people or for animals, for life in general. You may be in the involvement of and betterment of the entire world on a large scale. Like you want to be more charitable, more compassionate towards the world, and whatever it is that you do, you just want to create world peace. You don't want anybody to suffer. You want everybody to have exactly what they need when they need it so that we can live a longevity on this particular planet. You are very emotionally involved when it comes to what you're passionate about and when it comes to your endeavors. And that's what makes you so successful, because you are able to articulate. You have done your research. You are very wise in the area of study that you want to help in. And you are very passionate and very emotional. And it's not just an emotional level where you are all over the place with your emotions and where people can't understand you. You have also, and because your first pinnacle, you know, whatever pinnacle number that you was in your first pinnacle, you were that person that needed to work on your emotions so that you can better communicate with why you feel the way you feel, and people better understand you. And because of that, you are going to be very successful in these particular periods. Now, towards the pinnacle cycle of number 3, you see humanity as a whole, and you love from a more interconnected level. You feel like humanity, you feel like the whole world is all connected. You find symbolism in when plants grows and how to connect that to human life and the growth that we have in human life as well. So you find all things very connected, and you allow yourself to be taught every single day. It's not that you are just a teacher, but you are also a student. You know exactly what it means to be that. Then also in this particular pinnacle as well, greater love towards the community and the world is what's really going to help you succeed. So even if you don't want to be like famous or successful, because in this particular period, you have that energy because you have the articulation and you have the communication, and if you have the background that you experience certain things, not only will that make you successful and famous, but if you don't want to be famous, you can be very well known just in the community as a whole. You don't have to just, stand up on stage or want to really, be in a public eye, but in your area, in your community, you can be a great success powerhouse as well. So make sure that you're doing that. Even like I said, even if it's not on that public eye, even if you're not in the public eye, you can still create a voice for yourself where you can help out the world. And if there are the 9 energy period in this particular pinnacle, if all the 9s can do it in each area that they're very passionate in, the world can really create a lot of peace for itself. If you are in a pinnacle cycle 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 11, this period can be a very powerful vibration. Your energy will swing as a 2 and a double 1, okay? And what I mean by that is that the energy of the double 1 is all about taking initiative, all about being a boss energy, all about being very independent. And then the 2 energy is all about your connecting to your spiritual self as well. So not only will you be able to be successful in on a physical environment level, but you are going to be very successful when it comes to your spirituality as well. Both go hand in hand. So if you are focused on your spiritual self and also help others focus on their spirituality as well, you can be successful in these particular ways too. You may also want to become into like some type of religious practice, like being like a pastor or a preacher or a shaman, things of that nature. Or you may want to do some type of new age spirituality research where you help out other people find who they are on a bigger, broader level, like a more spiritual level, not just on the reading the Bible level. You get what I'm saying? Like you can help people find out who they are beyond books. So in this particular period, you will have a keen insight. Your intuition will be more heightened. And your task is to rely more on your intuition than your physical environment. So you're going to be getting a lot of things that come up that is going to help you not only just rely on yourself, but rely on that nudge that you get, not rely on that, that strong feeling that you get. You get what I'm saying? It's just not on just your physical environment that the double 1 energy brings, but it's also that spiritual environment that the 2 brings, your emotional levels as well. You may feel awkward at times, especially during the 3rd period, like you feel like you do not belong in the environment, or you may be for the world as well. So let me repeat that because I don't think I said that right. You may feel awkward at times, especially during the 3rd pinnacle, like you feel like you do not belong in your environment, and may be for the world as well. So you feel like you just like something is out of place. Like you may always feel like that. So it can be very awkward. You can also take a lot of breaks with taking some time to yourself to observe a lot of things because you don't really like that awkward feeling. In your 1st pinnacle cycle, you may have always felt like you have belonged to a certain group of people. And even if you felt like you haven't belonged to a certain group of people in your 1st pinnacle cycle, you was okay with that. But in the 2nd and the 3rd, especially towards the 3rd pinnacle cycle, you're going to honestly feel like, wait a minute, I don't think I belong here on this earth at all. So you're going to take a lot of moments to yourself, or you need to take a lot of moments to yourself to really observe your inner world. Like, why do you feel like this? You know, ask yourself those type of questions. Why do you feel like this? How can I change my environment so that I can feel like I belong? So you will have a lot of keen perception of life more than others. Like, with you taking this step back, with you taking that time to yourself to really observe you and observe your around environment, you will have developed a lot of keen perception towards other people than other people have before. Okay. You have like this, it's like a monk energy. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're just to yourself. You're very quiet. You don't really want the physical things of the, you don't really want your physical environment. You don't really value that anymore. You're valuing, like, I think it's more to life than I actually think. There may not be a lot of times that I get like this. So let me use this to the best of my ability. And you become like that monk. You become like very inclusive, very wise, very knowledgeable. And then you express that knowledge too to help out other people, or just to help out the world on a larger scale. This pinnacle also allows your creative pursuits you seek to go wherever you desire. You just need to follow your intuition. So your creativity is going to be at an all-time high. It's going to be very like a peaceful, refreshing period of your life. And you're going to always want to create, how can I make the world better? How can I use my gifts? How can I use my talents that I've discovered throughout life to help someone else out, or to even help better myself, to create a peaceful environment for myself? So just follow your intuition when it comes to your desires, because your intuition is going to tell you exactly where you need to go. You may also feel called to work with more metaphysical studies or spiritual practices that you may choose. So that's what I was just saying, as far as like, you may practice more Christianity, you may practice more Buddhism, Judaism, Hinduism. You may just practice New Age. You may just practice overall just your relationship with God. And that is going to help you out in the long run when you get up to some age, because you will become that wise monk that people need to seek out for, or that just humanity needs in general, not even just people, just humanity needs. You may work with arts, including dance, drawings, paintings, music, etc., to allow your feminine energy to flow and take way. So in the past, you may have had the issue, or you may have the task of mastering your masculine energy. But now in the cycles of 2 and 3, definitely later on in 3, you will be forced, or you will be faced. You're not never forced to do anything, but you will be faced to nurture that more feminine side of you when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your intuition. And you will work with those things in order to create life the way you want, in order to find the true meaning of life. Because even in this particular period, you are finding true meaning. You are finding what it is to be on my own, be myself. So with that being said, this energy here, your feminine energy, is going to really take charge in this particular cycles. You may want to sustain, but since creative juices are flowing, you will be everywhere. So you may want to find stability in your life. You may only want to be one track minded, but because your creativity is just ongoing and it's just flowing, you can find yourself, dipping into a little bit of everything. You may, like I said, you may practice some type of religious practice and teach it. You may also be looking at different herbs, trying to be an herbalist. You may be also trying to become vegan. It's just things of nature, things that are very beautiful, that are very pure, that are very natural. Those things will gravitate towards you in this particular season, or in this particular cycle. So the key part is just make sure that you be kind and patient to yourself, that you can flow harmoniously. So if you feel that you're moving too much and you're kind of like not really, you don't really like change, This can be very difficult, but if you be patient and just allow things to flow the way they're supposed to flow, your life in this particular cycle will be a very great success. If you are in a Pinnacle Cycle number 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the 22, this is a period of time that your determination and mental powers are enhanced. You're able to materialize whatever it is you want to build and achieve. You want to build the life of your dreams. And because of your proficiency, you will achieve great opportunities. So this is a period of time where your visions come reality. Like anything that you have been manifesting, anything that has not came into physical reality yet, you will start to see the manifestations, the actual physical manifestations of whatever it is you want to achieve and dream. So really be careful of that too, because your mental ability, your mental capacity will enhance more than it ever has been before. Whatever you think, you bring about. So because your mental capacity is so strong, because you've been through so much within that first Pinnacle Cycle, now in your second and third, you're able to, challenge yourself by materializing whatever you think about. You will feel very busy at this time as well, especially in Pinnacle Cycle number 3. So if you are trying to retire, during your Pinnacle Cycle number 3, or if you're getting ready for early retirement, it's a no. It's just a no. You're just not gonna be ready to settle down. You're not gonna be ready to relax. Like, this is gonna be a very work-related period for you as well, to where you are constantly creating, you're constantly dreaming, you're constantly coming up with something, and you're constantly seeing that more people need you, or the environment needs you, or God needs you to do something to really create what it is that the world needs. It's almost like you're the complete opposite of that 11 energy. So it's like more material gains in this particular period than spiritual gains. So in your life, in your Pinnacle Cycle number 1, you may have gained a lot of spiritual abundance and a lot of spiritual clarity. But in this pinnacle of a 2 or a 3, you will gain a lot of material. Okay, a lot of material will come in. So with being the complete opposite of 11 for the 2 and the 3 cycle is gaining spiritual abundance. They're tapping into their intuition. They're flowing with their feminine energy. In this particular cycle, you're going to flow more with your masculine energy, and what it is you want to physically manifest is going to come in. Even though you are at an all-time high of keen intuition, because you already have it, even though you're at an all-time high of having a keen intuition, you are focused on invention. Like, you've already went through the test of, I know what my intuition sounds like. And if you have embraced those challenges, and if you have learned and actually mastered it, this is where you start creating. This is where you start using those spiritual powers and those spiritual gifts to invent, to create, to relate to people as well. Also, be easy on yourself in these particular cycles, and use your positivity in all aspects of your life. If you don't, it can become very aggressive and an unstable cycle for you. So, like I said, take your time. Like, focus on the positive things. Don't focus on anything that you feel that is negatively happening to you. I always feel that when things unfortunate or things negatively happen, it's because God sees that, you know what, if this happens, if this is a success, if 22s achieve this, then it's not going to really go down the good way, because I don't really like the way they're going down. Let me shift it. So you may get a lot of no's. So when you get no's, embrace it. Don't become aggressive. Just allow it to flow. Say to yourself, okay, these things are happening for a reason. God, I love the protection that you have for me. Provide me with where you want me to go. Provide me where you know that I will thrive and be happy. If you say that and actually speak it with conviction, God is going to give you and materialize everything for you that you need, and everything that you thought you needed or you thought you wanted, it'll be a time of the past. You won't even think about it no more, because you'll be so happy. Also, This is a pinnacle of the extremes. So in whatever area extreme, it'll be like extreme success. It could be extreme joy, but know that it's an equal opposite to that. It may be extreme sensitivity. You may be emotional at all times, or it may be extreme failures. It depends on how you take these challenges and how you take these lessons. For example, like the example that I just used, if you get told no a lot, if you take that in consideration as a good thing, you will experience extreme joy. But if you take it as a bad thing, it'll be like, okay, well, he or she is being ungrateful. Let me show them what I really mean. Let me go ahead and push them through this cycle, and let me show them that this wasn't it for them. Okay, so just be very mindful. But it's like a lot of extremes. So you can have extreme success, or if you are not like, if you're not conforming, or if you are rejecting the changes that may come up in your life, it can feel like extreme pain. It can feel like extreme depression. Okay, so just be mindful of that. That's not to scare any of you. That's just to make you aware of what it's going to be. Okay, so this particular cycles as well, it may bring in a lot of serious challenges. So whatever the challenge, you will be able to overcome it. When I say challenges, I don't want people to feel like I'm saying challenges because, oh my God, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be so hard. Challenges, you got to embrace those things. Your soul can take care of anything that it is faced with. Your soul has a solution to everything that it goes to. But if your body rejects those challenges, if your body rejects what your soul is trying to go through and what your soul is trying to move through, it will feel like hell. It will feel like you don't have anything to live for. So you have to make sure that when these challenges come in, that you embrace them. When these challenges come in, you find a solution to it all. And then if you do, you can have a lot of extreme success, a lot of extreme joy. You will then live the life of your dreams. If you are in a Pinnacle Cycle number 2 or 3 and you vibrate with the number 33, this is a very rare pinnacle, very rare. I was doubting if I was trying to see if I even wanted to do the video, but because I, did some calculations, I know that there's some 33s out here who actually go through the 2 and the 3 cycle. So in these particular cycles, use all the lessons that you have been taught and teach people on a larger scale. You are supposed to be some type of master teacher because you have been through a lot in your first pinnacle, especially if you go through a lot in your second pinnacle. By the time you hit the third pinnacle, you are a master teacher. You are able to really, really help out a lot of people and on a whole global scale as it is. It's like when you talk to people, when you help mentor, when you help teach people, and they actually get where you're coming from, then they can go out and be master teachers to plants, to wildlife, to ocean life, to the air, to how we eat, how we dress, how we relate to other people. You get what I'm saying? You are the master teacher. You can teach one thing and then it can be subjects for all areas. Okay. It's kind of like, it's actually kind of like the Jesus energy. I'm gonna say it. It's like Jesus taught in parables. So when Jesus taught in parables, those parables didn't only help out that situation at hand that he was speaking about, but those parables help out in all areas of your life. So it's just like that energy. You have been through so much and you can use that to help others in whatever way you choose. You have great wisdom by everything that you have gone through. See the positive in what you have gone through, and you could have peace in all areas of your life. This is only if you see it. If you don't have that self-pity for yourself, if you can actually sit up here and say, you know what, I've been through these things for a reason, you can have great success. But if you show that pity on yourself, or I never had and I never can have because of the situation I was born into, it can have a stable, well, not a stable, but like a negative effect on you where you're just stagnant. It can have a stagnant effect on you and you won't be able to grow from it. And also you can see the negative, and it can be a very depressing time. Like when you look at the negativity that you've been through your life, because as a 33 in a Pinnacle Cycle 2 or 3, you've been through a lot. Okay. Even if the numbers that you've been through really didn't express how you really went, like you've been through a whole lot. And if you take a step back and reflect on those things, it can get you into like a depressing mood. So be mindful of that. Instead of you looking at these things as depressive, or I went through these things I never had, look at how you came out of it. Don't look at where you were in it. Look at where you are now out of it. And when you look at that, then you can see the positive. Dang, I was so strong enough that I handled that. I don't know anybody that can handle that. I am this person. God entrusted me with these different challenges, with these depressive things, with these negative things that constantly happen in my life, and I'm able to move through it. So I am of God. I know that God loves me. I see the positive things. But if you look at the negative things and like have that, like I said, that pity party of yourself, then you won't see the, like you'll honestly be depressed. Like you will get into like a really depressive mood. So like I said, be mindful. Because this vibration is of a 6, you are meant to be some type of helper, healer, and a curse breaker. So any type of negative things that have been going on within your family, you are the natural curse breaker. So sometimes breaking the curses, like when you say, yeah, I'm my family's curse breaker, it can sound like a great title, but actually breaking these curses can be very hard. So be mindful of that, okay? So embrace the past hardships, and you will achieve a lot of great satisfaction within your life.